Hey guys, we have the Sparx Edge Checker here. Let's take a look at this piece of hockey tech, how it works, and set the context for the ultimate question, is it worth $140? When sharpening skates, checking for even edges is an essential part of the process. The shame of the matter is, most shops probably aren't doing this to your skates when you bring them in, unless they take special pride in your service. The Edge Checker is going to help us do that precisely and accurately. The Edge Checker has three parts. The body, the thumb screw that will ensure you are tight to the blade surface, and the magnetic tilt bar used to assess if the edges are even. For the first year of owning my Sparx, I wasn't checking my own edges either. Uneven edges will feel either sticky if you have a high edge, or perhaps you won't trust the low edge as much. It's important to get them right so that you can maximize the life of the sharpening. Not only will even edges feel better, but the Edge Checker can help you determine if your runners might be damaged or bent. Obviously, the first step is to sharpen our skates. If you're like me, let's assume you haven't moved your machine since you first calibrated it. Sharpen your skates on your preferred hollow using the number of cycles that you found to work best. Make sure you've removed all the imperfections, and then go ahead and deburr using your selected deburring method. On my own blades, I like to use the coated steel kit, as the leather doesn't seem to remove the burrs completely on the coated steel. Sparx does provide a warning on their website that the Edge Checker won't necessarily provide accurate readings on coated steel. So far, I've had no issues with mine, but that's just something to keep in mind before you go ahead and buy one of these. When I check my steel, I like to check in two places, so I'll check the front and back third, and that way I can tell if I have evenness throughout the length of the blade, or if I may have a high or low edge on either end. If so, I can recalibrate slightly and see if I can get more even edges throughout the whole length of the runner. If the tilt bar lies even on the Edge Checker, you're good to go, nothing else needs to be done. If it's off, you'll need to troubleshoot. Ideally, when you check your skates, your edges will be within tolerance of one of these graduation marks, but sometimes it's impossible to avoid, especially if you have imperfections in your steel. If I'm off by more than that, I've come up with a set of rules for myself on how I troubleshoot, and I'll describe that in the description below. So that's how you use the Edge Checker, but is it worth it? I tend to use the Edge Checker every time I sharpen my own, and especially when I'm sharpening other people's skates, but you might be thinking that it's pretty darn expensive for something that you only need occasionally to make sure you're on calibration. If that's the case, then you'd be right. Because of the high cost of this machine, most of Sparx customers are likely price insensitive to a point, but I'd love to see them include this at a little bit of a discount if you purchase at the time of the machine. I've found in my own testing that this is probably the most valuable accessory they sell. I think it would be cool if they had some kind of accessory bundle pack, maybe where you could get the cover and the blade holder and the Edge Checker, and then maybe get a discount if you got all three at the time of purchase. I wouldn't say the Edge Checker is strictly essential, but it is a little bit tricky to get perfect edges using the included calibration tool. When I got the Edge Checker, I realized that although my edges were very consistent, they were very consistently slightly off. And I think getting this Edge Checker is the best way to really squeeze the value out of the machine that's already pretty expensive to begin with. I've looked online to see if I could find an Edge Checker from other manufacturers in the $50 to $100 range, but it turns out none of those seem all that great. The one thing that Sparx really has going for them with this is that this Edge Checker is very well machined, very easy to read. It has a magnetic bar, so you shouldn't lose the pieces. My final take is that I would highly recommend getting some type of Edge Checker. It doesn't have to be the one that Sparx provides. If you do end up going on to buy one of these, and this video helped you, consider using the Amazon link below as it helps support this channel.